Only a complete heel would pick on a guy in a wheelchair. Meet Cowboy Mike Hughes, a wrestler villain so vile that he did just that, hauling John Pauly out of his wheelchair and throwing the St. John man to the cold concrete, much to the horror of the crowd of youngsters who witnessed it.
I read a little article in the paper this morning. They were talking about the show last night. We actually put a plant in the crowd. The gentleman from the pirate radio that was in the wheelchair, and it was his idea to do the whole thing. For us, it was priceless. That's gold.
For Cowboy, Steen, and even Pauly, it was all a night's work. The wheelchair Smackdown was actually cooked up by Pauly, a local DJ from a radio station, the Pirate 103.5 FM. He actually slapped me upside the head, Pauly said. Well, he was sitting there looking at me, like, what was I supposed to do?
I'm not sure there's such a thing as bad publicity in professional wrestling. I think attention will sell tickets.
When you can get something like this to get a reaction and really shock people, and the people were shocked. It was like, when I was in the ring and it happened, everybody was just in awe. They was like, did that really just happen? They didn't just throw a guy in a wheelchair out the floor. And then when I slapped him, because I slapped him pretty good. Yes, you did.
Mike is truly a good friend of mine. He tends to, Mike's a storyteller, and I have to admit his stories are funny as hell. They're entertaining. They're great, but unfortunately, it's gotten him a little bit of heat. Some of his stories get carried away to the point where it becomes personal.
When my second year in the business is when I met Mike Hughes, and we very quickly became good friends, best friends, to the point that he was the best man at my wedding.
Right after that, we ended up being on tour together and traveling together, so we went right from meeting to spending 4 months together, 24/7.
Me and my wife had asked him and his girlfriend to give us a reference for adoption. And for some reason, which an honest answer has never been given for it, I know that the social workers being honest, that there was never any contact between any of them.
He sent me the forms, so I had to get the forms and I had them FedEx down to Puerto Rico. I got them filled out and I sent them back to my wife. It's my girlfriend, and she filled out, her part of them because it was a couple that they wanted, and we sent them back to the agency.
He never got it done, and he lied about it and said that he tried and talked to the social worker, and the social worker was willing to go before a judge and dispute that.
For some reason, this agency, the lady that was in charge of it, whether she misplaced it or didn't put it through or whatever.
There's no question he lied about it, and it hurt me. And we barely spoke for probably close to 2 years.
Things weren't good with us in the last couple of years. Things weren't good at all.
If he was just to admit that he lied, that would be big to me.
I think I'm the only guy that is married with kids on the crew. So I'm in a little different situation, a little unique situation. It is really, really tough. I just got an email there from a young fella you sent me. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Hey Dad, how's it going? Hear you lost your voice, that sucks. Oh God, you don't know how many people talked to me Tuesday about the show. It was the talk of the day, and it wasn't even my friends, it was my teachers, haha. You were a madman. Your match was really good except for Tony yelling the spots. It was really noticeable. Even Grampy mentioned it. James Mason is crazy. Scott Savage screwed up a freaky match. God, for being in Mexico for a year, he can't even take a good bump. He knows more about wrestling than I do, eh? Those were the only things I have to say about it. Well, besides Zero having a gut and Purity Saints crack showing through the whole match. Ooh. Good luck. Can't wait to see you, Zach. P.S. Thanks for taking me in the ring, but you made me come in through the bottom rope. I'm not a woman.
Why are you nervous? Why the hell are you nervous?
Because it's my first radio show ever, and it's live. So if I mess up...
Krista, today at the radio station, she was a little nervous. When the mic get handed to her, she looked like she was panicked, and her problem is she's worried about offending the other wrestlers by seeming too cocky or too at ease with doing promotional stuff.
Well, I think everyone needs to come out and see the show. This show is bar none to any other wrestling show that's probably passed through here. The production and the lights alone are going to be incredible, and I hope all the great people of Sussex come out and see
What
it.
she has to realize is that in order to get people to come pay to see you, they have to believe you're a star.
Krista was asked to do commentating in Sussex, New Brunswick, and she just pretty near lost her mind. Like, she was crying, she was hyperventilating.
I'm freaking out
Why are you nervous?
because it's, an hour and a half before show, and I just find out that I'm going to do commentary for the whole show with Darren. I've never in my life done anything like commentary, ever.
Zero taking on Brody Steele tonight. Is it possible? What are your thoughts on this high flyer? I mean, obviously he's given up 100 pounds to the big man.
You know it's possible. It's unfortunate because, the big man is capable of a great wrestling match, but he chooses to cheat. And Zero's gonna have to be aware of that and really watch himself in the ring.
That's so good. Oh, I'm so funny. Oh, you are so good. You reek of goodness. My name is Darren Michael Harvey, and I live in Lakeville, Nova Scotia, and I sell furniture.
Whatever got you into the world of wrestling?
Well, I did radio for many, many years, and Rick Doyle, aka Trash Canyon, listened to my show and apparently liked it. So, hand to God, one day out of the blue, like 2 years ago, I get a call. Hello, this is Rick Doyle, and I'm a wrestler, and we want you to do some color for this. And it's just a very typical phone call in my world. I want you to do something crazy. Yeah, oh, yeah. Give me a time and a date.
Sidewinder needs to smarten up. He has to learn how to act like a professional. He's used to working in these small federations, this little clique IHW group that he wrestles with, and they all walk in, and there's no real hierarchy in their thing because they all started at the same time. There's no respect issue for elders because there are no elders. Nobody really knows more than anybody else there.
Respect is everything. You have nothing without it, and until you earn it, you don't get it. That is the gospel truth. And there are people here that don't have it, and there are people here that clearly demand it. Boy, is that obvious.
I was very upset yesterday when I heard during a shoot interview that he was drunk during his interview.
I guess Peter was told that I was completely intoxicated for the interview, which isn't true at all. I only had a couple drinks beforehand. I wouldn't have done the interview at all had I been to the point of intoxication. But I'm the young guy that does narcotics. It's my role, apparently.
He's the most whinging little pussy I've ever met in my life. I got no use for him. He's dropped the ball every way, shape, or form so far. He can't wrestle. He's the slowest moving 150-pound man on the face of the earth. He's complaining that he's hurt. I told him tonight, I said, I need you to move faster in the ring tonight. You're just way too slow for a small guy. He said, oh, I'll be slower tonight than ever. He said, because I'm hurt. I think I've separated my shoulder. You know what? If I was in the business as young as him, and even if I had a separated shoulder, I would never in a million years admit it.
We had high hopes for Sidewinder when we first brought him on here. We thought he had all kinds of natural ability, a great look. I know that he has rubbed Peter the wrong way. He really just hasn't come into this thing prepared. I think if it goes on much longer, we'll probably have to look at replacing him because, quite honestly, this is a huge opportunity, and there's lots of guys that would step up to the plate and do the job.
In wrestling, I'm sure, there's a lot of people, as I talked about before, there's a lot of emotional ups and downs in this business. So a lot of people, fall into the habits of painkillers, not just for pain, but to numb the emotional pain and the highs and lows, lack of sleep. They get into uppers and downers and stuff like that. And there's a lot of that in this business. There's a lot of that in all pro sports, not just wrestling. unfortunately, I think we've been labeled worse than others because of excess. You know, people that are in the wrestling business, you always want to be the biggest, so steroids always comes into a factor.
This crew that we're on right now, I would say no more than 3 guys take steroids. I'd say wrestling in general, that would be about the right percentage, maybe 30%. A lot of guys, like James, has never taken steroids. A lot of top guys have never taken steroids, but the guys that work a full-time schedule and rely on their look. James relies on wrestling ability, I rely on a look. So a guy like me would take more steroids, obviously, than most.
I've really never even thought about taking it, not taking it, and they've got their thing, I've got my thing.
Today I'm going to take a shot of Deca Durabolin and a shot of Winstrol V. Deca is a recuperative drug. They give it clinically or medically. It's prescribed to people with serious injuries like bad car accidents. I've even heard cancer victims to build themselves back up. It's a pure muscle gainer. It doesn't make you bloat with water or anything like that. And I'll also take a shot of Winstrol V, which is the stuff that Ben Johnson got caught at the Olympics in 1988. If having a physique is part of your gimmick, there's a lot of pressure to maintain that physique. And when you're on the road, I mean, most of these guys on this tour, this is their only tour, but try being on the road for 90 or 120 days straight, where you're wrestling almost every night, and lucky to get into the gym 3 times a week, and those are only for 20-minute workouts. You know, and you're living on junk food, you're drinking beer at night because, you know, you're trying to unwind. You know, it's to maintain that physique, sometimes you have to go the extra step.
In England, it can be such a heavy schedule that, I mean, I'm guessing if you're on a steroid cycle, you need to train as harder than you would normally, so there just isn't the time to do that back home.
Talk here for a few minutes.
So?
All right, Krista, come in here. What? Because, sit down right there. Now, I've been keeping my nose out of this shit because I don't know what the fuck's going on, but all I know is gonna fucking end tonight. I trained you 2 guys together. Look at me when I fucking talk to you. Now, I had a rule that any of my students that get together romantically, that was a big no-no, okay? You guys crossed that line and I let it happen. Why? Because I trusted that you guys could be professionals. I don't even give a fuck. That's what's pissing me off, is that I don't know what's going on and I don't care. What I want to see from you 2 right now is a handshake, at least a little bit of eye contact, something.
I agree. I think it's totally ridiculous. I
Thank
think
you.
there's no need for either of us to be like this. I think it's totally unnecessary that we haven't talked in months, and I think it needs to end.
I could not see you ever forgive me for what I did.
I think it's beyond. It doesn't matter. I'm not even mad anymore. It's been months. I just don't want to go on like this.
I hope that I didn't fucking affect anything to you. This way, it's like you on this tour. I'm sorry I fucked up. I'm sorry.
Tell me something. Is that a weight lifted off your shoulders?
Fuck, man.
Is it?
Fuck you, man.
How many weights am I gonna have to lift off your damn shoulders?
Gary sat us down and really gave us a good talking to, and I think that really struck a few chords with both of us, because I've never seen Gary so worked up like that. I'm glad we can talk and be friends now, but I still think he's an asshole.
I was walking around the arena and just overseeing the ring being put together, and a couple guys were working over their matches, and I could see that Rick was a little stressed out, so I asked him what was wrong.
I'm pissed off right now, to
What's
be
going on?
honest with you.
Well,
it comes down to this. Like, I'm definitely not the best wrestler on this card. I've never ever claimed to be, but I'm working hard at it. All of a sudden, Lincoln Steen has started acting like a dick the last couple of days, and it's getting worse and worse, and it's really bugging me. Now I got to work him tonight. And listen, Steen's got all kinds of talent, he really does. But he's walking around here like he's some kind of veteran all of a sudden. I'm sick and tired of hearing it. He's, oh, these kids, they're disrespectful, and these kids, and I'm going to teach them a lesson. Who the fuck does he think he is? I'm sick and tired of it. I went to him a few minutes ago. I said, Steen, give me some ideas. Let's put the match together. Oh, 2 hours ago. We had lots of time for that. You know, come on. To me, this is a big deal. This going on television tonight. I'd like to have an idea so I can start working it through in my head. He's just pissing me off. And I know when we get in there, he's going to be like, oh, well, you know, we'll put something together easy for Rick. And if there's a mistake, he's going to be coming back and running his mouth. I'm telling you, if we get in there and he starts doing it, I'm going to knock the fucking bejesus out of him tonight. I really will. As I'm sick and tired of his attitude.
It's funny to see the reaction of people when you're like walk through the bank and you're wearing a shower cap for no apparent reason. Like, it's funny. Keeps me entertained.
Hey, buddy. How you doing? Steen, I gotta be honest with you, man. This is pissing me off. I think you're acting like a jerk. I really do.
Acting like a jerk.
Yeah. You know I'm not comfortable out there in those matches. I think I can have a great match with you, but I think you're walking around. I think you want me to look bad, so you're gonna look good in front of the other guys.
Rick.
Well, then why wouldn't we sit down and work over a match?
Do you know why? Because I didn't know what the fuck I'm doing, and I didn't want to start talking and thinking when I'm talking to you, getting you all confused. I did it for your benefit, not for mine.
Well,
I apologize if that's what you think I'm being a jackass about.
Well, it's just the way it comes across.
I honestly, the reason I did that is just because I didn't have it figured out in my head. And the last thing I want to do is be like changing things on you as I'm talking and thinking as I speak and getting you all confused.
All right.
Because I mean that's no good for anything. I apologize. Like if I'm sorry that I, made you think I was being a jackass to you, but it wasn't like that at all.
All right, listen, man. This is a big match to me.
Oh, I know.
And I get nerved up over these things, and I just want to feel 100% confident. When I get out there and I'm comfortable about it. But I just get the feeling that I'm going to go out there and you're going to try to make me look like an ass so you can mouth off in front of everybody.
No, buddy. I was doing it, because I just didn't want to confuse you. Don't worry. I've got it almost all done. We can talk about it here in a little bit if you want to.
All right.
All right?
Peace.
Cool, brother. Rick's the kind of guy, he gets really stressed out about things like wrestling. Like, he's really focused on what goes on in the ring. And for me, that's what comes easy to me. Like, that's the easy part of the job. I'm in my comfort zone there. But a guy like Rick, where he doesn't have a whole lot of matches under his belt, and I know he gets nervous, and I know he can get confused, if I don't know 100% what I'm going to do with them in there, I don't want to start telling him. Like, and talking to him like, well, we'll do this and do this. Wait, well, maybe if we do this, it'll be better, because this will, and when I start talking like that, all of a sudden, it's confusing him, and it's confusing to me, because he'll stop and ask a question, and I'll answer it, and starts turning into a clusterfuck, and then we lock up in the ring, and he's thinking, well, are we gonna do that first thing we talked about, or are we gonna do that second thing we talked about? And with a big match like this coming up, I don't want to have a situation like that happen in the ring. So I want to make sure that what my idea for the match is, with his input, goes down. So the match at the end of the night comes off stellar. We still have a lot of time. I mean, it's only 5:30. The show's not for another 2 hours, so we still have a lot of time to work on other things. So it's just in the short and the skinny of the things, I want it to be the best match possible, because this is really the showcase match for me and Rick on the tour. Like, the rest of the time we were either with guys in tag matches on television and stuff like that. Like, this is mine and Rick's moment to both, take ourselves from where we are now and elevate ourselves to that next level.
You know what? Him and I have had a rocky relationship over the years. I think we're very good friends now. The only thing about Steen is I think he thinks he's more of a veteran than what he actually is. And, maybe it's just from being on the road so long with him now these past few days that his voice is just cutting through me like a knife, and it's just kind of wearing my nerves thin a bit. It's just nothing personal. It's just that I take these matches very serious, and I'm not all that experienced, so I like taking more time than others to make sure that I know what's going on. And if he's such a veteran that he says he is, then he would respect that and try to work with me so we'd have a good match. That's all.
So yeah, the night was going really well. The matches were good. all of a sudden the lights go out, and it was just pure darkness.
I made a fucking mess of it.
Doing awesome?
No, I sucked. Steen carried it. Thank you. You carried that match.
I can't fucking believe that fucking happened. As soon as the lights went, I was like, oh,
I'm impressed you kept it going though, man.
oh, I put him down for a little bit, hoping that it would be like rectified immediately. But once it wasn't, I was like, you know what? We got to keep on going, like, because the people can still see us, so you might as well give them something. I wasn't going to go and kill myself, because to be honest, I can hardly see either. So I'm not going to do anything that's going to involve me fucking going to hit Rick and nearly fucking decapitating him or something like that. Like.
Sidewinder, he got his opportunity to go out and work, and I think that was actually it was quite nice of the management of Wrestling Reality to even allow him to have one more opportunity to get in the ring, because really they didn't know him anything.
How do you feel watching Sidewinder out there knowing he's going to be fired tonight?
Well, you know what? It happens in this business all the time. I mean, guys in the professional wrestling business can be replaced just like that. There's a lot of guys waiting to get in there and take their spot. So if you fuck up, you're going home.
This is our 4th show tonight. You've shown me so far nothing that I want in an employee. When I said to you today that you need to work faster in the ring, and you looked at me and you said that you're going to be slower than ever because your shoulder's sore, that clinched it for me. We're not going to use you the rest of the tour. You're done tonight. And until you can be mature enough to act like a professional, you won't be part of this organization. Okay. So I hope that you can get your shit together, because I'd like to see you come and grow with this company. But until you will get another chance at some point. I'm not sure when it'll be, but you've really dropped the ball. Every single day you've done something to fuck up. You realize that, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing more to say, really.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Pete. Thanks for giving me the days there.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, I fucked up, right? So, I mean, I probably deserve a lot worse. I probably deserve to be blacklisted from WR forever. So, I mean, I guess he's letting me off easy. The only thing I really like that really bothers me is he thinks I'm bitching about he thinks I'm making up being sore. Just like, I don't even know why somebody would do that.
I think his maturity levels are that of about an 11-year-old.
The first day he was one of the young lads who had the most potential, I thought. And I still think now there is a bit of potential there, but he just got no interest in the job. And the second he got no interest in the job, but why be in it?
Honestly, I think he was kind of hoping for it. If he wasn't hoping for it, he wouldn't have fucked up every single day. Honestly, I don't think he was just fired. I think he quit. Maybe I'm wrong, but I rarely am.